Hello fellow MR2 fans or automotive guys and gals. Today I'm actually going to dive into the brake system a little bit. I plan on in the future getting stainless steel brake lines because it gives a better feel from what I've read, more direct feedback when you step on the brakes. But today I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to install the brake rotors as well as brake pads and like brake hardware. So there's one, it's Bendix. Bendix is a brand that makes brake stuff, and here's some more centric parts. So these actually go on the brake caliper itself, and then I'm actually going to install these brake rotors. And these are just like OEM replacement brake rotors. They're better quality, but they look just like OEM brakes. So I'm going to install all this stuff in this video. What kind of parts are y'all using if you're an MR2 driver, MR2 owner? Are you using like OEM replacement parts? Or are you using aftermarket upgraded parts, or what? I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of different manufacturers. Most of them, I guess, technically anything that's not equipped or anything that wasn't a brand equipped on the car is aftermarket. But what are y'all using? What do y'all think is the best? OEM type parts or aftermarket parts? Anyway, let's get into replacing some parts. Okay, what we're looking at right here is the rear brake caliper, and there are 4 different metal pieces that are actually, or metal plates that are on the rear brake caliper. There is the anti-squeal plate, and then the pad guide plate, or brake pad guide plate. Okay, so there's 2, one here and one here, which is not here on mine. So I'm glad I actually bought this hardware, because if I had tried to drive the car, I probably would have had some squealing going on. And then the brake pad guide plate, I'm going to actually replace these. So let's get into it. So those are removed. I'm going to actually get some new gloves because these are terrible. They look nasty. Okay, hopefully you can see the caliper now. There's actually a bolt on the back of the caliper that you're gonna have to loosen up to actually get all the plates and the springs on. So you're gonna put the pad guide plate on, then you're gonna put the spring, the anti-rattle spring on. The other side are anti-rattle spring, and then the last pad guide plate on. So there you go. So I'm going to put the new rotors on. Well, first I'm going to clean it off a little bit. As you can see, there's some surface rust here, and it just happens. So I'm going to get the brake rotor. So here is one brake rotor. I'm going to put it on. Boom. We have the brake rotors now, or we have the brake rotor on the rear passenger side, and then we're going to install the brake caliper on the brake system. So there are 2 17mm bolts that actually go through the brake caliper into the rear, I guess, suspension, rear control arm that actually holds the brake on. So we're going to put those in the rear. So this will be my first time using this disc brake pad and caliper service toolkit. Basically how this works is you put the tool in the brake caliper, such as this. Well, that's too high. There's actually two little notches that go in the piston. And there you have it. You have the rear passenger side brake rotor and rear passenger side brake hardware installed, as well as the rear passenger side brake pads. Hopefully I have this exterior brake pad on correctly. It looks like the wear indicator is pointing downwards. Hopefully that's how it's supposed to go, or hopefully it's not directional. We're going to do the front next. Okay, now we're going to work on the front brake system. So I'm going to replace the brake rotor, the brake pads, and the brake hardware. So just like the rear brake system, there are two 17mm bolts that actually hold the caliper to the front suspension that holds the rotor. So we're going to loosen that up first. And it is loose. As you can see, that's really tight. Okay, most of the time these rotors are like almost stuck to the back plate. So what you have to do is actually pry it off or hit it off. So the first thing we want to do is actually pull the old brake pads off. And then you want to actually push the piston back in the caliper. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Hopefully you can see the piston right here. So we're going to actually push the piston back in to the caliper, and then so everything can be flush. And then we'll put the new brake pads in, as well as replace the hardware on the brakes, on the brake caliper. Okay, just now that I have the piston compressed in, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of hardware that go into the brake caliper, so I'm actually going to replace those now. So there's one new piece. There's 2. There's 3. And there is 4. And now installation of the rotor. 9mm bolt. And there you have it. You have your front brake rotor and your front brake pads installed. Okay, so what you just got through seeing is the rear and front brake system, or brake rotors, brake pads, and brake hardware installed. It actually took way longer than what I thought because the brake system was actually pretty much rusted together. So hopefully that won't happen in the future because I'll be driving it more. Again, all the parts that I upgraded or installed were from Rock Auto. They have pretty good parts. They look like they're just the same as OE quality or better. So we'll see in the next month or two how good they really are. Yeah. So if y'all had as much trouble doing brake stuff, let me know. Yeah, sir. If y'all had as much trouble as I did doing the brakes for your MR2, leave a comment down below. Other than that, we'll catch y'all in the next video. I have no idea what I'm going to do in the next video, but we'll figure it out. So thank y'all for watching. Peace out. We'll catch y'all later. Have a great evening, day, night, whenever you're watching this video.